Right now somewhere, someone is winning an argument you haven't even had yet. You explain yourself in every text message, every meeting, every silence you can't stand. And every time you do, someone learns exactly how to beat you next time. This isn't honesty. This is you handing over the blueprint to your own walls. Every justification is a door left open, and they are already walking through it. You think you're being understood. You're actually being studied. There is a name for men who never explain. History calls them dangerous. 2,000 years ago, one man wrote the rule you keep breaking. He said the ones who reveal everything are the first ones defeated. By the end of this, you will never explain yourself the same way again. What you're about to hear isn't motivation. It's a weapon most men were never handed. And once you understand it, you can't go back to explaining yourself the way you used to. You were taught that explaining yourself makes you honest, makes you good. So you kept doing it, in relationships, at work, with family who never even asked. And it never made them respect you. It made them comfortable pushing further. This isn't your fault. No one told you that clarity and exposure are different things. The truth is, the people around you benefit from your need to justify everything. A boss who wants you compliant, a partner who wants you predictable, a rival who wants you readable. Every time you over-explain, you confirm their theory of you, and theories become leashes. This is not a call to lie. This is a call to stop volunteering ammunition. Somewhere along the way, silence became suspicious and self-disclosure became a virtue. But virtue that gets exploited stops being virtue. It becomes vulnerability with good branding. This is where an old soldier's writing becomes more useful than any modern advice you've been given. He never wrote a self-help book. He wrote a survival manual. And the first rule in that manual was simple: never let the enemy read you. You don't have enemies on a battlefield, but you have people who benefit from your exposure. It's time you met the man who understood that 2,000 years before you were born. This isn't a callous philosophy. It's not about becoming heartless or shutting people out completely. It's about deciding deliberately who earns your reasons and who only gets your results. Most men give both away to anyone who simply asks. That's not generosity. That's a leak in the hull of your own ship. His name was Sun Tzu, a general, a strategist, a man who understood that war is fought before the first blow. He didn't write for kings who wanted glory. He wrote for men who wanted to survive. For centuries, his words were kept from common men, reserved for those who commanded armies. Now his words sit forgotten in the same bookshelves as diet plans and productivity hacks. But buried in his pages is the exact reason you keep losing ground. You never had to give up. He said it plainly, not as a suggestion, as a law of survival. All warfare is based on deception, not deception to harm, deception to protect, to conceal your true position until you choose to reveal it. You've been fighting every battle in the open. He would call that surrender dressed as honesty. What you're about to learn are not tricks. They are the terms of your own protection. Lesson 1. The strongest position is the one no one can measure. Think of the last time you told someone your exact plan, your exact salary, your exact next move. The moment they knew your ceiling, they stopped fearing your rise. This happens because certainty kills respect. Mystery is what keeps people cautious. Starting today, stop narrating your next move before it happens. Let the results speak. Drop this in the comments. My walls are mine to show. This isn't about hiding forever. It's about choosing the moment you're seen. Sun Tzu never said hide. He said control the reveal. The fortress that shows its walls invites the siege. The one that doesn't invites hesitation. Lesson 2. Every explanation you give is food for the ones circling you. You've felt it. You answer one question and 3 more follow, each one sharper. This happens because people don't stop pulling a thread once they feel it move. Starting today, answer only what protects your position. Nothing more. Drop this in the comments. I feed no one my hesitation. The wolf that finds no meat moves on to easier prey. This knowledge is for protection, not destruction. Sun Tzu moved armies at night for this exact reason. What cannot be seen cannot be planned against. Lesson 3. Every justification you give becomes a weapon in someone else's hand. You explain why you were late, why you said no, why you chose differently, and it gets used against you later. This happens because people don't remember your reasons. They remember your reasons are negotiable. Starting today, replace explanation with decision. Say what you're doing, not why. Drop this in the comments. My decisions are not on trial. Sun Tzu never justified a retreat to his enemy. He simply repositioned. A decision explained is a decision debated, and you don't owe anyone a debate. Lesson 4. Sometimes the most powerful move is to look completely unbothered. You've seen someone provoke you, wanting a reaction, wanting an explanation, wanting proof they got to you. This happens because provocation is a test, and silence fails their test every time. Starting today, when provoked, respond with stillness before you respond with words. Drop this in the comments. I do not perform for provocation. The empty fortress worked because the enemy assumed a trap where there was only confidence. Confidence without explanation is the most unreadable weapon you own. Lesson 5. Your reactions are data. Stop giving away free intelligence. Every flinch, every raised voice, every long text defending yourself, it's all logged and used later. This happens because people who want power over you study your patterns before they study your words. Starting today, before you react, ask what this reaction teaches them about you. Drop this in the comments. My reactions are not for sale. Sun Tzu studied the terrain before the battle. Study your own patterns before anyone else does. Lesson 6. The man who acts first controls the story. The man who explains after is always defending. You've waited to be questioned before you moved, and by then the moment already belonged to someone else. This happens because waiting for permission to explain is the same as waiting for permission to live. Starting today, move on your own timeline. Let questions arrive after the result, not before it. Drop this in the comments. I move. They ask later. Sun Tzu said the supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. The supreme art of living is to move without needing permission. 6 lessons, 1 truth. The less you explain, the less they can use. You don't owe the world a running commentary of your decisions. You owe yourself results. Drop this in the comments. I owe the world results, not reasons. Hold these 6 lessons like a soldier holds a blade. Not to attack, to never be caught unarmed again. Drop this in the comments. I am armed with silence. You are not becoming cold. You are becoming unreadable. There's a difference, and it's the only one that matters. Sun Tzu didn't build an empire on cruelty. He built it on control most men never learn. You now hold the same control. What you do with it from here is entirely yours. Lesson 7. The advantage no one can take from you is the one they never saw you build. You've watched someone announce their goals to everyone before they'd done a single day of work toward them, and felt the pressure to do the same. This happens because talking about a goal releases the same reward chemistry as achieving it, so the mind quietly settles for the applause instead of the result. Starting today, let your work stay invisible until it's undeniable. Drop this in the comments. My progress is not a performance. Sun Tzu positioned his armies where the enemy couldn't calculate their strength, not because he was ashamed of his strength, but because uncalculated strength is unstoppable strength. The quiet advantage isn't secrecy for its own sake. It's patience weaponized. Before we close, remember this. This knowledge protects the man who guards it. It destroys the man who brags about it. Use it quietly. Use it well. Because the version of you that explains everything is already gone. The old you is dead. You are a weapon, pointed at your own future. No more auditions. No more permission. No more explaining your worth to people who never intended to see it. You belong to no one. Not to the crowd. Not to the critics, not even to the old version of the man you used to defend. There is no council to answer to, no jury of people who never risked what you're risking, only the work and the man doing it. If this changed how you see yourself, you already know what happens next. You don't subscribe because I asked. You subscribe because the old you already left the room. This channel isn't here to be liked. It's here for men who are done explaining themselves to people who never earned the explanation. So decide. Are you building a fortress, or are you still leaving the gates open? And if no one ever asks you to explain yourself again, good. That was the entire point. Tell me in the comments, what have you been explaining that you never owed anyone in the first place?